Decoding the Thrice Yearning service. The wisdom of absolute surrender. Hello everyone, welcome to today's deep dive. Today, we are going to look far beneath the surface. Through the incredible insights shared by the Buddha Behavior Association of Australia, we are embarking on a thorough philosophical decoding of a highly renowned Buddhist text by National Master Shangfeng, the Thrice Yearning Pure Land Service. To be completely honest, the Buddhist philosophy within this text is profoundly deep. Sometimes reading it can make us feel, wow, this seems so distant and hard to relate to. But don't worry. Today, we are going to transform these seemingly unreachable concepts into crystal clear wisdom that you can instantly apply to your daily life. Ready? Let us dive straight into today's theme. Today, we will quickly journey through 4 key pillars: the contrast between pure land blessings and karmic realities, letting go of the ego, true welcoming and acceptance, what it truly means to tie your mind to the Buddha, the sequential order of the Fivefold Dharma-Body Incense. The contrast between pure land blessings and karmic realities. Imagine what your ideal world looks like. Is it lush and green, or hyper-technological? Let us examine a stark contrast. The Master pointed out a harsh reality in his sharing: the world we currently inhabit is entirely driven by karma. In other words, whatever karma we possess creates the environment we experience. This world is full of dust. If you want to eat, you must constantly till the soil and work tirelessly. And even after eating, a mountain of waste is generated. The Sukhavati pure land, however, is completely different. It is driven purely by karmic blessings merit. There, the trees are made of the 7 precious jewels, and there is absolutely no dust. The moment you feel hungry, food and clothing naturally manifest. And once you are done, they automatically disappear without leaving a single trace of waste. To put it simply, it is an effortlessly manifested, ultimate state of perfection. So, how do we connect to such a pure land? The Master offered a brilliant analogy using a traditional marketplace steelyard, a handheld weighing scale, to explain what it means to mindfully recite. The steelyard analogy: imagine holding an old-fashioned steelyard scale. The Buddha's name is the object you want to weigh, and your mind is the counterweight, the poise. You must place the Buddha's name on the scale and hold the string up, constantly maintaining a dynamic balance. If you lose focus for even a second, or if you put the counterweight down entirely, it can no longer be called weighing. This is a dynamic balance that requires your utmost moment-to-moment awareness. Letting go of the ego, true welcoming and acceptance. Be honest, have you ever fantasized that when your time comes to pass into the pure land, the Buddha and the grand procession of bodhisattvas will arrive with gongs and drums to give you a VIP welcome? The Master shattered this illusion with a brutally honest, common sense question. Do you think you are a high-ranking official arriving for an inspection? This question cuts straight to the deeply rooted arrogance and ego hidden within human nature. It sounds harsh, right? But the Master said without hesitation, you aren't even qualified to be a subordinate. In the presence of the Supreme Buddha and Bodhisattvas, we are actually just pitiful beings mired in suffering, desperately in need of rescue. We lack the power to reach the pure land on our own. We are not high-level executives checking into a new office, and we aren't even qualified to be the Buddha's subordinates. This highlights the massive chasm between our habitual ego and the humility required for true salvation. We constantly bring our worldly arrogance into our spiritual practice, expecting a VIP welcome and feeling as though we are on equal footing with the Buddhists and Bodhisattvas. What is the correct realization? We must be entirely carried across by the Buddha's absolute grace, lifted up like a helpless little kitten, because you simply do not possess the ability to cross the ocean of karma you have created. True humility only begins when you completely collapse that monumental pride and admit your utter helplessness. What it truly means to tie your mind to the Buddha. We often hear the phrase tying the mind to the Buddha's name. But what does that mean in practice? Is it enough to just keep thinking about the Buddha in your head? Absolutely not. The source materials provide an incredibly strict definition: unboundedly tying and belonging to the Buddha. Tying means to bind yourself completely. Belonging means absolute surrender of ownership. You must completely and unreservedly bind yourself to the Buddha, knowing with certainty that you belong under the Buddha's refuge, without a single stray thought in between. The Master lamented that people in modern society have largely lost the concepts of true belonging and loyalty. We rarely understand who or what we actually belong to. Look at our daily lives. What are we truly bound to? We think we are free. But truth be told, if you are willing to stand in a massive queue for hours just for a good meal, you belong to food. If you risk your health and life just to make money, you belong to money. Even worse, modern people often suffer from the illusion of being equal with the divine. The master pierced through this illusion perfectly. If you think you and the Buddha are equals, then you are mutually independent. If you secretly want the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to bless you according to your terms, then you are trying to control them. This arrogance completely destroys any genuine refuge in the Dharma. The master's witty critique hit the nail on the head in that case. It is not the Buddha delivering you, it is you trying to deliver the Buddha. When our minds are filled with our own opinions, lacking true surrender, and viewing the Buddhas as tools to grant our worldly wishes, we are not letting the Buddha guide us. Absolute surrender and letting go is the only path to the Pure Land. If you cannot even tie the rope securely and your mind is filled with scattered thoughts, it cannot be called Shinayan, and you will never reach the Pure Land. 4. The sequential order of the Fivefold Dharma-Body Incense. Buddhism has so many terms. So why is the specific cultivation called incense? The master gave a fascinating explanation. He said that without spiritual cultivation, the greed, anger, ignorance, arrogance, and the suffering brought by our karma emit a spiritual odor that can be summarized in one word: foul. It makes people want to steer clear of us. True cultivation, however, allows a person to radiate a quality that brings joy and comfort to others, even relieving their suffering. That is the true incense that everyone loves. However, this incense cannot be lit arbitrarily. It follows an absolute, unalterable sequence: text, right understanding, long right taro; text, liberation, long right taro; text, precepts, long right taro; xt, concentration, long right taro; text, wisdom. The understanding of liberation. You must first have the correct cognitive framework. Liberation with right understanding, you naturally free yourself from afflictions. Precepts. Once liberated from chaotic desires, you naturally uphold ethical discipline. Concentration. When the mind stops wandering, you enter deep stillness. Wisdom. Out of concentration, ultimate wisdom is finally unlocked. You can never skip the foundational steps and expect sudden enlightenment. The master used a modern health analogy that everyone can understand to explain the first step. The understanding of liberation. The diabetes analogy. Suppose you know with absolute certainty that eating a specific sugary food will lead to severe diabetes, and you have personally witnessed how agonizing and terrifying the complications are. When this cause-and-effect relationship is perfectly clear and unshakable in your mind, would you still dare to indulge in that food? Absolutely not. At that point, you don't need to grit your teeth or use intense willpower to suppress your desires. You are naturally liberated from the craving, and you effortlessly uphold the precept of avoiding it. This is the real power of the understanding of liberation. The sutras state that this fivefold Dharma-Body Incense is formed from the ultimate truth and flows from the sea of true samadhi. This means that this precise cognitive framework and wisdom did not fall from the sky or sprout from the ground. It is the absolute truth flowing directly from the Buddha's profound, long-standing concentration, through which he saw the reality of the universe exactly as it is. Conclusion. The greatest takeaway from the Buddha Behavior Association of Australia's sharing is this: your destination, your state of mind, and the method you use are completely inseparable. If you want to reach that pure land where suffering does not exist, you cannot rely solely on reciting sutras or performing external rituals. You must first use the fivefold Dharma-Body Incense to build that pure land of right understanding and right view right within your own heart. As we bring this session to a close, I invite everyone to quiet their minds and honestly ask themselves one question. Now that we have seen the difference between karma and blessings, exposed our hidden arrogance, understood true belonging, and learned the sequence of the fivefold Dharma-Body Incense at this very moment, is your mind still tightly bound to endless desires and afflictions? Or is it truly tied to wisdom and liberation? I hope today's deep dive has brought you some new insights and inspiration. See you next time.